Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and I am here with the latest updates on the R. Kelly case. Sorry for getting to you guys late, but it was a very hectic, long day, and I actually have a headache, so I am going to rush through this so that I can take something and turn in early tonight. So, you guys know that there was a hearing. There were actually two hearings today. One was the Curcio hearing involving Nicole Becker, which I believe was at 1 o'clock, and then at 2 o'clock, it was Steve Greenberg and Mike Leonard. And so Judge Donnelly did go ahead and allow Greenberg and Leonard to leave the case. So they are officially off of the Eastern District of New York case. And then there was a hearing in Chicago where Greenberg basically told the judge Weber that, you know, R. Kelly had requested that him and Leonard be removed from the case, and that he was sure that although they haven't addressed the Chicago case, he was pretty sure that he would also ask that they be removed from the Chicago case. So that case was supposed to, or that trial was supposed to start on September 13th. But with this news, you know, in play, and then I guess the judge has to wait to hear from R. Kelly, they have canceled that September 13th trial date. And so the Chicago federal case is now on hold until, one, the Eastern District of New York trial concludes, and then two, to see what R. Kelly wants to do about his legal team. Is he really going to remove Greenberg and Leonard from the case, which we hope he does? And, well, not so much Leonard. Like, I would have to be able to read some of these sealed letters that Leonard keeps sending over to Judge Donnelly to really get a feel for him. But we definitely want Greenberg off the case. I have wanted Greenberg off the case from the beginning, so that hasn't changed. So glad he's gone. But the September 13th trial date for the Northern District of Illinois is canceled. Now back to Nicole Becker. I can't remember if I shared this with you all, but Judge Donnelly wanted the Gloria Rodriguez lady to appear at the hearing today. And if you guys remember, Gloria Rodriguez was the attorney that was hired for Ariel and Jocelyn, you know, to represent them after R. Kelly was indicted. And there was some documents that came out, or she made a statement where she said that she had told Nicole to stop talking to Ariel and Jocelyn because, you know, it could be a conflict of interest. And so Judge Donnelly wanted her at that hearing today, but I am not sure if she was at the hearing or on the phone or if she gave testimony. But what we do know is Nicole kept referring to Ariel and Jocelyn as girls, and Judge Donnelly was not having it. Okay, she says, you know, I need you to refer to them as women. They're not girls. Can you knock it off? And I think Nicole may have done it once or twice. Well, I know she did it at least 2 times because Judge Donnelly had asked her not to do it, and then she did it again, and the judge admonished her again. And so she stopped defense lawyer Nicole Becker during a pretrial hearing when she called 2 women involved in the case girls. The judge asked Becker to refer to the people she was talking about as women. When Becker again called them girls, Donnelly paused the proceeding for a brief lecture. It's 2021. We are talking about women in their 20s, the judge said in an exasperated tone. And Becker said, sorry, judge, it's been 2 years, referring to the fact that she hasn't seen the women since 2019. Well, it doesn't matter if it's been 2 years or if she hasn't seen them since 2019. Wasn't Ariel like 20, 21 years old and Jocelyn like 23, 24-year-olds? Like neither one of them were under the age of 18 when Nicole met them. They were both in their 20s. Or at the very least, Ariel was 20 years old. And so I'm kind of concerned about Nicole at this point. Like, is she really ready for this case? Like, she keeps making these mistakes, speaking out of turn, out of order, saying stuff that she shouldn't be saying. And is this a precursor to what she's going to be like on the trial? And I don't know if Judge Donnelly made a decision or not. I don't see anything where she has made a decision on whether or not she's going to allow Nicole to stay. But we do know that she has released Greenberg and Leonard from the case. Now, moving on, you guys know over the past, I think this past weekend, there were a couple of letters that came in. There were some motions filed and an order written regarding R. Kelly and his ability to visit with his attorneys while he is at the Brooklyn MDC. And so the judge issued an order saying that, the Brooklyn MDC needed to cooperate, give him as much time as he needs with his attorneys, and, basically be fair. Well, today, Deborah Canick has sent a letter to the judge basically saying that they have paid her zero attention. And it says, Dear Judge Donnelly, on July 12, 2021, the court issued an order stating the court directs Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, to ensure that the defendant is able to meet with his counsel in a private room at MDC. MDC will ensure that these meetings can take place as frequently as the defendant and his counsel request, and for the duration that the defendant and his counsel request within MDC's normal visiting hours. Defense counsel is directed to inform the court without delay if they face difficulties booking or having client visits. Well, according to Mr. Canick, in accordance with the court's directive, we are writing to inform the court that defense counsel continues to encounter multiple obstacles in our efforts to prepare for trial with our client. We need to be able to review the enormous amounts of discovery with our client. Today, we were unable to bring binders, which were full of discovery materials, into the MDC. We have been denied access with the necessary tools to assist us in having meaningful, productive meetings with our client. For example, we are not allowed to bring highlighters, sticky notes, markers, etc. Although these things may seem trivial to most, when preparing for a trial of this magnitude, without these requests allow a nearly impossible situation even more impossible. We are allowed to bring in a computer, but not the charger. We are allowed to bring in a computer, but not the charging cord that goes with it. If we are visiting for longer than 4 hours, presumably the computer will be dead and of no use. Not to mention, we have no internet access while meeting with our client. As the court is aware, all the discovery and 3,500 materials for this case has been provided to the defense via external hard drives. We are not able to bring the government's provided external hard drives into the MDC. Without the internet, it is impossible to have all the government's disclosure available for review while meeting with our client. If the government were required to prepare for this case without their computers, internet, iPads, tablets, and phones, perhaps we would have no room to notify the court or of our concerns. However, that is clearly not the case because that would handicap the government, just like it is handicapping us now. Lastly, Mr. Kelly suffers from diabetes. He anticipated spending numerous hours with us. There are no vending machines available in the visiting room. He was denied the right to bring down a candy bar, which would prevent him from having a diabetic episode. The notion that Mr. Kelly can receive a fair trial based on these circumstances is not practical. This thwarts our ability to have private, meaningful, unfettered access to our client and for Mr. Kelly to meaningfully assist in his defense. Respectfully submitted, Nicole Becker, Thomas Farinella, Devereaux Canick, attorneys for defendant Robert S. Kelly. Now, I don't know much about diabetes. I mean, my dad had diabetes, but I'm not familiar with the whole candy bar. Y'all let me know the relevance of the candy bar, needing the candy bar while he's there. Now, I understand he needs food, like they can't, skip meals and that type of thing. But what does the candy bar do? Y'all let me know. Now, basically what he is saying that, even though they are being allowed to spend longer hours with him at the MDC, they're being prohibited from bringing in the tools that they need to review the discovery, to take notes, to highlight things for him so that he can go over it and, focus on certain things within the documentation. And to me, that makes absolutely no sense. So it would be interesting to see what Judge Donnelly comes up with in regards, in her response to this letter. And then the last thing that I want to bring to you guys is that Devereaux Canick has sent in a letter. The letter is under seal, so I don't know what the letter says. However, the prosecutors did respond to the letter, and it appears that he was asking them for the search warrant that was issued against R. Kelly when he was initially arrested. And let me see if I can bring that up. Okay, so it says, wait, hold on a second. Okay, it says application having been made on behalf of the United States of America by Assistant United States Attorney Nadia Shahada for an order authorizing the government to disclose the affidavit in support of an application for a search warrant for the person known and described as Robert Sylvester Kelly, date of birth January 8, 1967, filed under seal in docket number 21 MJ 814 to defense counsel in the above captioned matter. It is hereby ordered that the government may furnish copies of the 21 MJ 814 affidavit to defense counsel in the above captioned matter. So those were the updates that I had for you guys. Steve Greenberg and Leonard have been removed from the Eastern District of New York case. They believe that they're also going to be removed from the Chicago case, which has led to the cancellation of the Northern District of Illinois case that was supposed to start on September 13th. And then Devereaux Canick, the new attorney for R. Kelly, has basically said that even though they've been giving extended hours at the MDC, they are still being hindered because they can't take any materials in. They can't take the hard drive in. They can't access the internet. And so basically, I guess he can just sit there and talk to R. Kelly. He can't go over any of the discovery. Well, technically he can. Up for 4 hours he can go over whatever he has on his computer, but then once the computer dies because he can't take the charger in, then he's pretty much screwed. So we'll wait and see what Judge Donnelly has to say in response to this. And then also I am looking to see what her response was, or her decision in the Nicole Becker situation, whether or not she is going to remove Nicole from the case or allow her to stay. But at this point, it doesn't appear that Judge Donnelly has much respect for Nicole, and so Nicole had better tread lightly. And if the judge doesn't like her, that could harm the case down the line when it comes to objections, to things that are being said by the prosecution. The judge might take it out on Nicole and overrule the objection and allow whatever the prosecution is doing to carry on. So that's it for me, guys. Go ahead, leave your comments below, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.